Welcome to the Lead Like a Woman show, where we feature top women leaders who share their inspirational stories on life and leadership. Let's go.
Andrea Heuston here. I am the host of the Lead Like a Woman show, where I feature strong female leaders and how they are changing our world. We have over 40,000 people on social media who are sharing our message of empowering female leaders to empower others. In this episode, we're going to talk about leadership, well-being, and energy. But before we get to that, this episode is brought to you by Artitudes, my company. Artitudes is every presenter's secret weapon. We create confident speakers, and in Q1 of 2023, we'll be launching a virtual speakers academy. We'll have on-demand content and live coaching to help you connect with your audience with confidence. Contact me today if you'd like to learn more about the academy so you can bring more energy and relevance to your communications. If you mention this episode of Lead Like a Woman, you'll also get $200 off the price of the academy. The best way to get me? A LinkedIn message. I'm excited to introduce my guest today. She is someone I consider a friend, and she's just amazing. Our guest is coming to us from Spain, and more specifically, beautiful Barcelona. Coming from the former Soviet Union and having lived in 6 countries, Natalya Berdikyan reinvented herself many times. Her life story is empowering in not only surviving, but thriving through change. Natalya is the founder and CEO of Life by Design, where she combines her coaching, yoga, and breathwork certifications with her corporate and entrepreneurial experience, having lived and worked around the world, mastering the wisdom of different countries, cultures, and industries. To help individuals and organizations grow beyond borders and boundaries, increasing their energy and their leadership ability. Through coaching, training, and transformational holistic retreats for entrepreneurs, leaders, and their teams, Natalya is helping them become better leaders in business and in life by understanding their energy potential. Natalya is also a member of the Entrepreneurs Organization, as am I, and she currently serves as president for EO Barcelona. She's a certified EO global speaker, and she's a trained EO and YPO moderator. Natalya, welcome to the Lead Like a Woman show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
I'm excited to have you here. Now, listeners, I want you to know there's a 9-hour time difference as well. So she's recording this at night. And I appreciate that, Natalya. So thank you so much. You know, you started your career in marketing and events, and then you went into chocolate, which we're going to talk about soon because chocolate is one of my favorite subjects. But I want to know what led you to where you are now, the Life by Design Academy. How'd you get there?
How did I get here? Well, it was a long journey.
Yes, I'm sure.
So I was sitting at my chocolate factory in Belgium, Brussels. After a short tour around the chocolate factory, imagine the smell of chocolate. And it's one of my favorite topics, right?
Oh, yeah. And favorite smells, too.
Yes.
Nice.
After that, I was sitting at my desk, completely exhausted and overwhelmed and frustrated.
As many of us do.
Right. And it really was pretty clear that something had to change, but I just didn't know what. It's like I was living this picture perfect life, but it seemed like it was someone else's. Like I couldn't necessarily control it. I didn't feel aligned.
Yeah.
You know, that feeling when you feel something is off.
Yeah.
You want to change it, but you just don't know where to start, where to go.
Yeah. So much so.
Yeah. So that was clear something had to change. And at one of those EO events, the Entrepreneurs Organization events, standing on top of Machu Picchu, imagine that.
Wow.
Legacy, building something that stands there for thousands of years.
Amazing.
I realized that it's not about chocolate and the people. It's really about getting aligned with myself and helping people get energized by their inner resource, their energy versus sugar. So unfortunately for some people that love the chocolate, believe it or not, I actually stepped down from operations and got through the whole transformational process and became a professional coach, and I do specialize on energy management and conscious leadership and find it so much more fulfilling than producing chocolate. As much as it's great, but energizing people by their own inner resource is amazing. And that starts with me. So we have to be well in order to do well. And
I like that line. We have to be well in order to do well. That's a great line.
Yeah.
I love that. So where you are now, the Life by Design Academy, you're doing leadership and well-being retreats, you're doing energy work. When you started your business, this one, most people would say, what went wrong, Natalya? I want to know what went right.
What went right? I think that it just felt right doing what I did. When I help people to move from the place of struggle and overwhelm and stress, as they run their lives and their businesses, their families, it's a lot. And it's that place. I've been there before.
Yeah, me too. I can relate.
You can relate, as many of those listeners today. And there is a different way of living and operating. So it doesn't come from the place of struggle and stress, but we can get to that place of ease and effortless leadership, starting with self-leadership.
Yeah.
And have that sense of fulfillment and satisfaction and well-being. And that what's right is getting to the amazing results that seem like a miracle within a session, talking to people or a team, but it's actually they're doing it. It's there, and providing those tools and being able to give them that, the life by design and the business by design, I think is a gift that I love to share.
I think it is a gift. And it's especially important for leaders to take care of themselves before they take care of anybody else. Because you cannot do well unless you are well.
Exactly.
It's very important. Well, you had a different start in life, and you've dealt with a lot of things. You moved around a lot. You've lived in 6 different countries, including the country of your birth, which is Russia. Was it the Soviet Union at the time?
Well, I was born in Soviet Union. Things change as they do.
Yes.
Further so. And I did have a lot of change. I moved actually 25 times in 25 years.
Wow. So, that's crazy.
Feasible. Feasible. Still be energized by that. So, yeah.
Wow. And you speak 4 different languages, which is incredible.
That was not something I believed in when I was growing up in former Soviet Union, where our teachers were teaching with such an accent that you can only find out once you've left the country and come back. And I'm grateful for all the opportunities and seeing the world. The sky is the limit. No, I would say there is no limit. The sky is not the limit.
The sky is not the limit. I'm going to write that down too. I have to tell you, because it's not the limit.
Hence beyond borders and boundaries, because, who makes them?
It's true. It's very, very true. The sky is not the limit. So in your business, Life by Design, you have leadership and well-being connected. And we just talked about you have to be well to do well. How does that come out in your work? How does the energy work apply to leaders and their teams?
Right. Well, we are holistic people. Nothing works in isolation, right?
That's true.
If you don't feel well, you haven't slept enough, or something in your body hurts, or you had an argument with someone, you cannot function well. You cannot deliver. You cannot perform. You don't feel well, the way you show up, the way you experience, not living to the optimal potential, right? And I coach a whole person, a 360 of a person. It's not just
not just one thing. Yeah,
not just one thing. It's not about. People come and say, well, I want to be a better leader, or I want my sales team to perform. There's much more than that. And so, point 1, it starts with self-leadership. If we're not well, we cannot do well. And it's about their health. It's about their mentality, their perspective, what is influencing their energy.
Yeah.
How is energy important? I mean, imagine you have time, but you have no energy. What can you really achieve? Everybody's talking about time management. I need to manage time. How about you start with your energy?
Manage your energy instead.
Exactly. And then the rest falls into place.
So could you give our listeners a tip on how you manage your energy? I know there's a lot more to it than what you're going to say or give us a tip about, but can you give us one tip that helps people manage their energy?
Well, what gives you energy, Andrea?
What gives me energy? There's so many things that give me energy. Exercise gives me energy. My gratitude practice gives me energy. This podcast gives me countless amounts of energy, and helping other people. My kids give me energy. Baking gives me energy. I have so many things, so many things.
Beautiful. So does that mean that when you do that, you actually have more energy? And it showed up in your voice when just talking about it.
Absolutely. So for me, and I'm going to focus on kind of baking and cooking, I've always loved it. Since I was 6 years old, I've been cooking and baking. And when I get a chance to really explore and do different things in the kitchen, I come away, it's almost like I'm rested. It's almost like I just feel better, feel more like me.
Wow. Effortless ease, isn't it?
It is. It really is. It's my favorite place to be. My husband used to, I'm going to answer your question too. My husband used to, when we were very first married, I worked 2.5 hours away from where we lived. And so I went back and forth a lot. And if he found me in the kitchen when he got home in the evening baking bread, he knew to stay away for a little while. He knew that I needed to get through kneading the bread until I could really have a conversation with him or anyone else.
Wow.
Isn't that funny?
It's a form of meditation and creativity.
It is, yeah. So that doesn't answer my question. I mean, it answers it for me. But so we really need to look at what gives us energy. What is energy giving?
That's the very simple thing is really looking at what gives us energy and do more of that. And then look at what drains our energy. Where do we feel misaligned?
Oh, okay.
And try to have less than that while looking at, are we being judgmental and having limiting beliefs about something, or actually is that really so?
Oh my goodness. There's a lot there to unpack.
Definitely. Yeah. The inner work has to be done. It has to start with the who. So I talk a lot about the who we are and what is at the core of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, then followed with the why and what and how with all the strategies to get places. But it has to start with who.
The who.
And if all of this is not aligned, it's out of place.
It is. It really is. You've got to have all the pieces or it's not going to work. Yeah. So we talked a little bit about what led you to the Life by Design Academy. We talked about that you were burnt out, essentially, running a chocolate factory, which, man.
I know. Can you believe that? And I did love the business. I mean, that's why I didn't think there was a burnout because, I mean, like I love the business, my business. I love what I did. I love the people. I did get energized by chocolate, although sugar wasn't part of my value system. But that I found out only afterwards, because once you actually start noticing what's wrong, and I went to the gym and I did the meditation trainings and I read all the books and I went to all the EO events and stuff, nothing seemed to work. Like I kept on feeling that I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough, although clearly,
imposter syndrome. Yeah.
All of that. And it's like, I just didn't feel right. And that picture perfect, which was perfect enough from the outside, just didn't feel like it to me. And now it does. And
oh, good.
We get to create what we really want and not settle for less. And that's part of the program I put people through to where do we feel we drain? Where do we feel lack of energy? What are we actually tolerating that maybe we shouldn't? What do we think that's good enough? Maybe it's not. It keeps us going. The question is, how long do we want to be going? And is that what we really want? Because that's not where our potential and power and energy is at.
Oh my goodness. I love this conversation because it applies to me too right now. So thank you. I want to talk a little bit about chocolate because I told you we'd come back to it. So you were basically a chocolatier. I mean, you didn't make the chocolate, but you were running the chocolate factory. And it was called Van Paris, I think. Van Paris?
Yes.
That's correct. Okay.
Paris, yeah.
But here's the thing. You made chocolate in Belgium, which, I mean, there's Belgium chocolate and Swiss chocolate, but those are the top echelon of chocolate in the world. What brought you to the chocolate factory in Belgium? How'd you get there?
How did I get there?
Yeah.
I had a business partner, well, a life partner and a business partner that proposed a life and a business journey, adventure, and as opportunity, as I love change and growth and learning, and I knew nothing about chocolate at the time. I mean, not chocolate. I didn't know nothing but running a chocolate factory.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah. So, which was a different thing afterwards. So why not? Like, I change a lot. You go from business aviation to chocolate. Why not?
Wow. Well, it sounds like it was a lot of fun in a way, but then it gave you the impetus to create this whole new company that really is what gives you energy. It sounds like your work gives you energy.
When there's, lots of moving parts and lots of challenges, you kind of like it because then you figure things out, and I look at it as an opportunity. It's energizing, right? The more, the better, until at some point you're like,
I understand that too.
Then you need extra energy coming from some source.
That's true.
Because that's more sustainable.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask a real personal question. You and I talked a little bit before, and I got your permission to talk about this. My listeners, I'm not sure if you know, but I went through 5 years of infertility treatments, including IVF. We went all the way through until we decided that, well, we knew then it wasn't going to work for us based on some factors with my body. And so we went all the way to adoption. But I will tell you, infertility, and if anyone's experiencing this, when you're trying to get pregnant, when you're trying to create a life, it's like a death every month that doesn't happen. Now, Natalya, my friend, you've gone through 7 in vitro fertilization, 7 IVFs. And recently, the 7th one failed. So I want to know, based on what you do and based on who you are, how do you keep hope and how do you still create energy?
Yeah, that's the trick of being an energy coach. You sort of apply for yourself. And that helps. Well, I think I'm grateful. Everybody goes through a different process, of course, and every woman is different. And it's not just mental, physical, psychological, spiritual. There's a lot of stuff involved there. Yeah. Not to mention, ideally you're not going through that alone, but at the end of the day, it's really the woman that carries. Sorry for you guys.
That's true. It's so true.
Exactly. So, what keeps me going, it's the point 1 in application of energy management tools is really about looking at the opportunity of what can be done instead of being stuck on what doesn't work until I get to the point that it definitely can't be done. I am under impression that it can. And so and why not? And,
why not?
Why not? Exactly. And luckily, and I'm grateful that my mental, physical state can permit that. And it's not that heavy on me. Or maybe is there another way around? Because I look at it as an opportunity and as a possibility to create, because ultimately we are creating life if we can.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether it's a spiritual journey or physical journey, I still haven't figured that one out. I think all of those aspects are in there. But doing practices like yoga and meditation, I became a yoga trainer by just, practicing yoga every day and then taking a certification class to become a professional yoga trainer. Why not? Again,
why not?
Exactly. And practicing it and meditation or breath work, it's through those past years as well, connecting to self and having long, deep breaths can make such a big difference
It's
in
true.
handling anything, whether it's a
Yeah.
conversation or a in vitro project process. Reconnecting to self and listening to the body. And if the body permits and you feel like you want to keep going, you don't have to. I
No,
don't have to do anything, right?
that's true.
It just feels that it's the right thing. And I've learned over the past years how to listen to my intuition again, which kind of lost me when I was at the chocolate factory for a while. So it took a while to come back to it and believe that it's there. So yeah, listening to the body never lies, unlike our mind.
That's true.
So,
well,
and I'm lucky to have friends around, and I look at it from a positive standpoint.
It's impressive that you can do that after I went through it as well. I understand what you're saying. I didn't have those tools available to me. And I think it would have helped if I had. Being able to look internally, being able to identify with what my energy was doing. So I think it's wonderful that you do. But I do want to know a little bit about how you maintain hope as well, because hope is such a big part of fertility.
Yeah. Maybe I look at it, I feel like it's a spiritual journey in a way for me, a consciousness journey to it.
Okay.
Because if I really wanted to have a baby, I would have started at 20, which clearly I'm far not right now.
I think you look about 20. We'll take that.
Thank you. And so it is a conscious journey too. Not an obsession. It's not an obsession.
Well, that helps then, that it's not an obsession.
Yeah. And trusting the process and trusting the universe that, whatever happens is meant to happen. And if there is a soul that is ready to come, maybe he's not ready to come. And that's where I say it's a consciousness journey for me, because it's not just a biological thing. It's
right.
Why do you want it in the first place? And by consciousness, making the conscious decision and being self-mature enough to do that. So it's actually hard. It's not just about the baby. It's my conscious journey, actually, a spiritual journey, and something I need to still work on, whether it's a work with myself, in my relationship with my parents, I'm sure. So all of this is so much interconnected.
It is. It's all interconnected.
Yeah.
Thank you for
see where it ends up.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being so willing to be vulnerable. I appreciate that. I will tell you, and a lot of our listeners are in the United States, but we do have listeners all over the world. I want listeners other places to know that infertility treatments in the US are generally not covered by insurance. So there are some companies that will cover it, but it's pretty rare. So it gets to be a very expensive journey as well. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I've heard.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I'm also lucky that the Belgian insurance, that's why I'm going back to Belgium. Also,
I didn't know that. Wow.
It's more cost effective, efficient. And as long as they have me, they will finish that soon, then I will continue in Barcelona.
Oh my goodness.
So we'll speak about that when that comes. You never know. So I'm also the rational thing comes up. Like, what are the next steps? What are the
steps? Yeah.
All of these things. A part of the spirituality journey, whatever that is.
Yeah, I understand that. I just, again, I appreciate you sharing. I mean, it is a journey that you're on, and I appreciate you sharing it with me and with our listeners as well.
Thank you. Happy to talk to anybody that wants to share and discuss.
Oh, that is kind. And an offer that some may take you up on. So we'll have your contact information in the show notes as well. But right now I want to know, we've all gone through life with mentors. We can't get to where you are or where we are without having other people, without having people we can bounce ideas off of. So what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given from somebody that still resonates with you to this day?
Well, speaking of mentors, I think I have so many.
Yeah.
And I think every life situation that I'm put next to, or like, someone flips my nose,
That's funny.
it is one of those mentoring situations.
Yeah, it's true.
So actually learning from each situation, and whether it was my passing grandfather that was like a father to me, or the whole EO community, the entrepreneurs organization, for me, there's so many people, I wouldn't be able to point just one.
Yeah, well, that's true. And that's okay.
Yeah.
But what is the best piece of advice? Do you have a piece of advice that is sitting in your head that you still think about sometimes?
I would say listen to yourself and never let anybody put you down and your dreams.
That's important.
And another one, my grandfather used to say, if out of the 1,000 words, one stays in your head, it's okay.
It's what?
It's okay. It's enough.
It's enough. That's a really cool one. Out of 1,000 words, if one stays in your head, it's enough. Wow. That's powerful too, because that can apply to every situation that you're in.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn that around. And I would love to know what kind of advice you would give to women who want to do something new and they don't know. They feel like their energy is drained, but they don't know how to get that energy back.
Well, if they don't know how to get their energy back, they should talk to me.
That's right.
Listen to my to all the beautiful programs that are out there on YouTube, EO, and other resources. But it's really, I think, disconnect from all that noise out there, which is there's so much of.
Yep, so much of. So disconnect from the noise.
Disconnect from the noise. It's not about consuming more information. It's really about connecting with self.
It is.
And trusting yourself to be that higher guide and higher coach, because we have it all within us. But, I am an example as well. I love to have an opinion of a mentor or someone that has an authority and experience. Of course, they should know better than me what's good for me.
But that's not always true.
Exactly. So, and that's the thing, regaining that power, because it's ours. We are born superheroes, and then something
I love
happens.
that. We are born superheroes.
We are born superheroes. Remember when you were 5 years old, what did you say to yourself? You're the best. You're the cutest. You can fly, this and then the other. And then life happens and we are getting all that baggage and we carry all that baggage and we believe it's true.
It's
and then
so
we spend
true.
Another half of life getting rid of that baggage to go back to our superhero state.
That's pretty incredible. I like that because we are born superheroes. And you can't figure that out again. You can't really focus inwardly unless you do disconnect from the noise. Thank you for sharing that. So, Natalya, I believe that every woman on earth has a superpower. What's yours?
I love, and I think I'm good at connecting
Yes.
with people.
You are a connector.
Connecting people to each other.
Yep.
And connecting people to themselves.
That is powerful. Because there are people who are out there who are connectors, and that's their superpower. That's one of mine. I love connecting other people, but I've never thought about the connecting to themselves. That's beautiful, Natalya. Thank you for sharing.
My pleasure. Thank you for asking.
We've had a wonderful and beautiful conversation today with Natalya Berdikyan of Life by Design Academy. Natalya, where can we find you online?
Well, nowadays you just Google it in, and but Natalya Berdikyan, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, the website lifebydesign-academy.com, and
amazing.
Talk to you and support in any way I can.
And we'll put links in the show notes as well, so it's easy to find my friend Natalya. Natalya, thank you for being here today. It's been a joy to speak with you.
Likewise. Let's speak again soon.
We should, right? And remember, listeners, we all have superpowers. I have superpowers, Natalya has superpowers, and you have superpowers. Use them for good. Thank you for listening today to the Lead Like a Woman show, where we are passionate about empowering female leaders to empower others.
Thank you for listening to the Lead Like a Woman show. We look forward to seeing you next time. Make sure to subscribe to get future episodes.